my balls. Suck my balls.
How would you children like to suck on my chocolate salty balls?
Oh, you mean like a chocolate candy?
No, I mean my balls.
Suck my balls.
What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to another edition of SMB, a South Park review. That's right. Each and every week, we break down South Park for you in linear fashion. And this week, it's no exception because we're back for season 14, episode 2, The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs. And I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. This man is a writer. He's a director. He's a producer. He's the man who likes to bring the pain in the digital marketing game. He's also headed to Atlanta. Dane Becker!
Baby! Dane got himself a gig. Dane got himself a job. And let me tell you something, brother. If you want to be number one, you have to say you're number one. You have to think like you're number one. And you have to act like you're number one. No one's going to take you as champion unless you take yourself as champion. Woo!
Moving on.
That's right, baby.
Hot Atlanta.
That's right, baby. Soon, Dane's zip code is going to start in a nice little 303. I think that's it. Either way, guys, absolutely. Either way, guys. I'm like a podcaster. Headed to Atlanta. Got the gig. Got an apartment lined up. Going to get a call Monday. Hopefully, that deposit going to work out, and we're going to be in it like Flint. And folks at home, it's going to be a 2-bedroom. What that might entail, I don't know. That's up to Matt and the viewers at home, baby.
Are you just going to have the viewers vote? Vote! Will Matt move to Atlanta? Drop your fucking comments below and let us know.
Overwhelmingly no, and then your mom just cries herself to sleep.
She cries to sleep. And my mom says I got to go, though. My mom says I got to go. My mom says I got to go to Atlanta. I probably got to go to Atlanta. Probably this can't happen. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk more South Park with you. Also, I want to shout out, of course, 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. A trivia god. Joe Vernola. Joe Vernola is getting back on the mend. He's got to get some more surgery right now. So shout out to you, Joe, as you can.
He's doing good, man, but he's doing real good. His mental has been looking real good because, you know, it can really suck you down into the pits, especially if you can't fucking talk for 2 months straight. Look, Matt, if I couldn't talk for 2 weeks straight, I'm jumping off a fucking bridge.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the tale of Scrody McBoogerballs. Let's get running and rolling. This is the second episode of season 14, and it is the 197th overall episode of South Park. It originally aired on March 24th, 2010. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't said it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 200.
Woo! Is it really?
That's right. This is SMB number 200.
Yes! Matt, give us a music sing, baby. We need it.
All right, hold on. Do you hear?
Don't you touch that! That's not something to throw away. If you throw that away, I will rape you in the mouth, okay? I will rape you in your fucking mouth, okay?
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
Everyone sit down and shut the fuck up! God damn it! Stupid ass man! I thought this was America! Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Beating off the dog is not appropriate when we have company. I mean, ever. Beating off the dog is not appropriate ever.
Born in New Zealand in 64, a hot-headed actor named Russell Crowe. He loves to act, but he loves one thing more.
What is it?
Nice.
This podcast is great at a lot of things, but it's especially great at this.
Hey, maybe we better do a towel call. That's a towel call?
Look, this is a bar. We can't have children in here. People come here for debauchery and sin.
Butters will give hand jobs in the corner for $1. Sure, I'm good at all kinds of jobs.
Get away. You can put a stop to all this. Just walk away, and we will spare your lives. Just walk away.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, my God.
celebrating 200 episodes. SMB number 200.
It's been fantastic, man. The way we got together, especially, and I've only been a part of this for maybe 30 plus episodes, but like it felt like I've been a part of a long standing history. It's like you come into like a Smithsonian of South Park and you're like honored to be there every time, even if you miss days, even if shit happens. This is like a home for people like me, for people like Joe. This podcast has been fantastic, and seriously, man, you should be really, really proud of getting to this kind of consistency. No one does that. No one.
I appreciate it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't going to be our celebratory episode, as you're well aware. We like to do things weird here on SMB. 111, episode 111 was our celebratory episode. So episode 222 will be our next big celebration, where we are going to want to get feedback from you. Just like in episode 111, I'm going to want you to send in your voice, your congratulations. And if you're a fan of the show, we want to hear it. We're going to get guests lined up. We got 22 episodes from now, so I got 4 months to do this. But just be aware, we appreciate you listening and downloading each and every week on another edition of SMV.
And Matt, depending on how people vote, that 222, it could be in Atlanta. It could be in person. It could be Maddie and Dane live
from Sirius XM Radio. Well, ladies,
yes.
This episode, though, is the boys are given a controversial book to read in school. And when they find out it's not controversial at all, it inspires them to write their own. So here's how the episode starts off. Mr. Garrison gives the children the book, The Catcher in the Rye, and says it was banned for its large amount of controversial subject matter. Due to how disturbing and offensive Mr. Garrison makes it sound, the entire class, even particularly Cartman and the rest of the boys, find themselves excited at the prospect of being allowed to read it. Unfortunately, after reading the book from start to finish, Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman find nothing remotely vulgar about the book. So let's jump in here to start this episode as Mr. Garrison gives this class the assignment.
Okay, kids, let's take our seats. There has been a change in school policy, and so I'm assigning you all a book to read.
You already tell what the book's going to be.
God, I hate those.
Now, kids, this book is
flashbacks.
very controversial.
Flashbacks, Matt.
It's been taken off the
Yeah, I remember having to read this book as well. It's a horrible book. It's boring as fuck.
Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, it's we'll talk about that. I also same feelings as you.
And strong, vulgar language.
And he's for those at home listening audio wise, it's Catcher in the Rye. He's handing out copies of J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Now this part's my favorite though with Cartman here.
1 through 5, and tomorrow we'll discuss the.
No, come on, let's read it now. Mr. Garrison, didn't the guy who shot John Lennon say it was because of this book?
Yes, apparently.
Here
John
comes now.
Lennon's
Cartman's gonna be
said
so
he was
excited here.
inspired by Catcher in the Rye, but he was just a kook.
Whoa, you're telling us this book is filthy, inappropriate, and made a guy shoot the king of hippies? Can we please read this right now?
He's literally screaming for it. And look, King of Hippies is not that far off. You still see the guys that Cartman would hate singing Imagine in the streets anytime there's a protest about something. Even though it has nothing to do with that stupid song or that stupid man and his stupid wife.
It's not even about protest now. Now they just line up a bunch of people and make a video. Imagine during fucking COVID.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, Matt's absolutely right. That cringy celebrity compilation video where they did We Are the World, but it was Imagine with John Lennon. The guy that beat every woman he was ever with, John Lennon. John Lennon, one of the single reasons why the Beatles weren't the Beatles anymore. John Lennon, the multi-millionaire who thought that giving back to the poor was making a song about it. I'm really sorry, but if anyone knows anything about me, one, I'm not the biggest Beatles fan in the world. I give them credit where credit is due. They created a genre and they nailed it on that. And Paperback Writer is great. Love you, KB. But dear heavenly God, I'm sorry that George Harrison lost his hat. I'm sorry that Lennon lost much more than that, even before he got shot. But look, bring in Yoko and all that stuff. No. That's where I draw the line. I don't care how much you like a band. You don't have to like the sum of its parts. You know what I like? I like Paul McCartney. Why? Because he married a girl with one leg. You marry a girl with one leg, you're okay in my book.
100% agree with everything you just said. I am not the biggest Beatles fan. I never understood the fandom about it. I get it.
Same.
They're the original boy band and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
To me, their music just never hit with me. Sorry.
Yeah, and you could say like the Beach Boys had just as much influence in rock and roll
Fucking
as
like
they
the
did.
Beach Boys.
I
like
love the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
harmonization, and great songwriters too. But like, I am not a Beatles fan, and I was supposed to be. My mom is a huge Beatles fan. My dad was a huge Beatles fan. Now I'm starting to think why I didn't like the Beatles is probably for the correct.
And you know what? And you know what? I watched Yellow Submarine on acid. It wasn't that good.
I watched Yellow Submarine sober, and it was worse.
It was worse. Well, everyone's like, you got to do it on acid or some Molly or some mushrooms or something. I'm like, okay, well, mushrooms I don't want to do for 8 hours. I don't want an 8-hour trip. I don't want to go in and out for 8 hours. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, the movie already feels like it's 16.
Molly itself, I don't really feel like sweating, so like I'm not gonna do that right now. So let me do some acid because if I'm gonna see some shit, then I should see it on this. And like I watched it and like I was just like, this is a boring movie. Boring
Who would do the Yellow Submarine on Molly? You're watching the Yellow Submarine, the blue meanies come out, and you're just rubbing your own feet.
Bro, worst movie to watch on mushrooms, Val Kilmer's The Doors. That is the longest movie in existence
my God.
on mushrooms.
A fucking Oliver Stone movie on mushrooms would probably feel like you're reading the encyclopedia back to front.
Bro, and
Holy
like
crap.
the movie is already long. It's already 3.5 hours, but you're on shrooms and you're like sitting there and you're like, oh my God, is this movie all there? And your friend's like, dude, it's only been 20 minutes. And you're like, oh
No! Can we just get to the part where Val Kilmer dies in a French tub, please?
Oh my gosh. Okay, back to the episode now. So you saw there, Mr. Garrison handed out the assignment. So now let's jump into the next clip here of the boys as they start to read the book and get disappointed. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? This is not a fucking book that should be banned.
Yeah, Catcher in the Rye. Oh wow, it's got a carousel. Ooh. He talks about depression. Watch out.
Did you get to any dirty parts yet? No, it's still just some whiny, annoying teenager talking about how lame he is.
I mean,
Don't get it, dude.
He's
What's
right.
controversial about this? All he's done is said shit and fuck a few times.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
know. I'm almost at the end and there's nothing.
Here comes Cartman now. Motherfucker.
slams the door on Kyle's room.
Motherfucker.
Yep.
The whole thing. I read the whole fucking thing.
Tricked you into reading the book. That's how it was, Matt.
The offensive stuff was coming, and then after like 100
Kill a Mockingbird was the same way.
All right, I get all the dirty stuff is
Oh, he's
okay.
just a white lawyer for a black guy in like the early 1900s. That's it.
I just read a book for nothing. Why the hell?
I just read a book for nothing.
Fucking tricked us. That's what they did. Tricked us into reading a book.
Lord of the Flies was the same way for me. Ooh, goody. They pushed the fat kid off a cliff. That's why this was banned.
We know you were just saying that.
Look at Kenny. Dude, why the fuck is this thing banned at all? No,
Kenny
you're-
absolutely said, this is a bunch of bullshit.
No, you're absolutely right, though, Dane. A lot of those books. I will say, though, personally, I actually did enjoy Lord of the Flies myself. I liked the book. I thought it was a decent book.
Oh, it's a great book. It's fantastic. It has stuff going on. I love the conch shell concept of it. I love the factions that were created. And no, guys, look out. It's a pessimist view on human nature. No, if a bunch of kids got stranded on an island, they're not going to take up arms, create separate societies, and then kill a fat kid. The most they would do is make fun of the fat kid until he jumps off the cliff himself.
Yeah, all in all, Lord of the Flies, I thought that was good. I enjoyed that book. Like the book The Giver, like that was a good book growing up.
My
But,
favorite
like,
book of all time.
The
My
other
favorite
books
book of all time.
you know, what is it? The move. It's kind of like in that same time period that the books were coming out. It's about a Holocaust. It's a woman in the Holocaust. It's not the fucking famous one. It's not the fucking Helen Keller one. Or not Helen Keller.
No,
it's not the other.
it's not the Anne Frank.
Anne Frank, it's not that one.
You did the Clerks thing.
Yeah, I know. It's not the Anne Frank one, but you know what I'm talking about, like the Nile or the something. I don't know what it is.
Yes, no, I know
Noel or-
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. All those books were pitched to us as controversial. And as a kid, you literally felt exactly what Cartman felt, that you got tricked into reading a book by being told that it was banned. Stupid people ban books, but stupid people are banning the wrong books. You want to ban something that has something really, really graphic in it. And like, look, I'm not going to be edgy, but like, if you're not banning the Bible, then you're a dumbass, because those rules and restrictions only go one way for you. Because look, I've read the Bible more times than I've read most things. I grew up in Christian school, back to front, multiple times over. I've only read Stephen King more than I've read the Bible, and it is messed the fuck up. It is so messed up. Back to front, it is messed up. The cleanest part about it is some parts in Genesis when they're just, I don't know, walking around trees and eating dirt and shit. But you go into J.D. Salinger's work, and it's just a whiny, mopey dude who's in between life, didn't like college, doesn't like work. The really only thing he likes is this one girl and his sister. And that's it. And all it is that he complains about life. And look, we mentioned Clerks. That book, it was like Clerks for the literature era of its time. It was, because it did capture a feeling that teenagers had. An old man captured that feeling, but it was the Clerks of its time. But even now, going back to it, even when we read it in the fucking late 90s, you go through it and you're like, Holden Caulfield is just a jack off. And he is. He's one of the biggest jack next to Bella Swan. I will put this on paper right now. Next to Bella Swan, Holden Caulfield is one of the biggest whiny jack-offs in literature. He's got nothing to complain about. He creates his own misery. And by the end of the book, he's pushing his girl, spoiler, he's pushing his little sister around on a carousel, thinking about how everything could have been different while he's probably sitting somewhere in a mental asylum writing this out. And you're like, dude, you put yourself here. You had a couple Bud Lights and thought you were God.
No, you're totally right. Like, all those books were boring, whiny bitches. People complain about their life. I was not a big fan of To Kill a Mockingbird, like you mentioned. Wasn't a big fan of 12 Angry Men either. But I liked the movie with Henry Fonda, the 1957 movie. It's a good adaptation.
Fantastic film. To Kill a Mockingbird, same way. That black and white, fantastic film. You read the book, and yeah, you can see why it might have been controversial in the 50s or 60s or whenever it came out. But like, look, just like language changes, our perception of language changes. So that means our perception of books will change. And I don't care if it was the Clerks of its time. You go watch Clerks now, it still kind of captures a feeling that a lot of us have now. But you read Holden Caulfield, and I guarantee you, anybody that isn't one of those Tarantino sucking douchebags, but with books, are going to be like, yeah, Holden Caulfield's a jack. He's just a jerk. He's literally, this is a guy that would listen to John Lennon's Imagine and be like, oh man, he's speaking directly to me.
I love him. Well, somebody who thought it was speaking directly to him is Butters, because Butters here in this next scene, he's going to be convinced that he needs to kill John Lennon. So let's jump here now. We'll unveil that, as well as the boys are going to finally start writing their own book.
Kill John Lennon. Kill John Lennon.
Perfect, Matt. Perfect.
Kill John Lennon. Kill John Lennon.
What are you doing?
Hey, Dad, where does John Lennon live?
John Lennon's dead.
Good,
Butters.
Butters. Aw.
Dang it.
I know, Butters. Paul's still around. Actually, you know what, Butters? Ringo is still there. Go grab Ringo. He's not doing much.
That's true. That's true. So here's the boys now talking about on the internet how, like, oh my God, some people actually think this book is offensive.
I'll show them fucking obscene. Hey, yeah, we should write our own band book. Yeah, we could get a book band way more than this one. Yeah, sweet. The tale of Scrody McDickin-ass. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right.
I have to mute this here
One.
because the music is going to kick in, and the music is copyright.
A warm spring morning.
Anyway, we'll pause it there because that music is copyrighted.
Yeah,
like
so
a motherfucker.
Scrody McDickin-ass, you know,
So-
title in progress, of course. Yes, it is.
I gotta tell you,
they're gonna try to write what, Matt? The most offensive book that a 6-year-old could think of.
yeah, and I gotta say that whenever this music starts, like, I don't know what about it is, but that nostalgia just kicks in, right? Like, you start thinking about like what it was to be a simpler time when you were a kid, when you could just hang out with all your friends and write a book and be stupid, you know?
Oh yeah, I was exactly Kyle. I would have my friends come over and we would like write, you know, nothing short stories, or like a lot of times we'd write like machinima scripts back when machinima was popular. We'd like write like red versus blue knockoffs in World of Warcraft. I mean, I'd be typing at the computer. They'd be giving me ideas. And this captures a feeling. We're going through the video right now. We can't obviously play the audio because isn't it like a Stevie Nicks song or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So we're just showing some of the video clips here.
Yeah,
the boys
we're going through it.
So that's there. The boys were writing their book there. If you're watching it here on the YouTube, the clips wise. If you're listening on the audio, there was nothing to report. We explained it to you. So following this now, Stan's mom finds the book that they wrote, The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs. They changed the name, not from Scrody McDick and Ass to McBoogerballs. So they find the book. The mom does. She starts reading it, and then she starts throwing up because it's such a disgusting book, right? But then she takes it to Randy, and she's like, it's really good, but it's horrible. So Randy starts reading it, and then he throws up. And it's going to come to pass that the parents are going to all find out about this book, and they end up blaming it on Butters because none of them wants to take the blame and responsibility for writing the book. So they convince Butters that he wrote the book, so he's going to take the blame. Poor Butters. But in this case, it ends up working out pretty well for Butters. He's going to become a star.
The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs?
She finds it underneath some underwear like it's a baggie of weed.
Woke to find his
right?
Ew. He took a what? Oh my God. He then grabbed his dog's
Here comes first vomit of the day.
Oh my God. Walking out of his house, he spotted a bloody and pus covered.
Ooh, there it goes.
All right, jumping
second
forward.
vomit.
Here comes Randy now. He's going to start reading the book after she's been vomiting here.
I mean, it's
You think she's going to say it's horrible, but
thing I've ever read, but the plot is amazing and the characters are so vivid.
It was a warm summer morning when Scrody McBooger.
Ew, Sharon.
Ew, Sharon, gross.
No, just keep reading.
He took
you think Randy might hold it better because of what he watches on the internet? But there it goes.
I know, Randy, but trust me, you gotta push through to.
You gotta push through to the end.
Doesn't she talk about like there's a scene in Milan? Like, what is this book?
I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Go ahead.
I'm surprised there's not like a fake copy of it out there because like we said before the broadcast, when you search up Scrody McWiggerball's full episode, you get full episode as the top hit on Google, but the second hit is full book. People really want to know what this is.
Let's see. The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs by. Apparently, this book was deeply moving. There is a book on Goodreads.com, on Amazon.com.
Did they put it up on Goodreads? Yes, please.
The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs. It's got 345 ratings. It's got 51 reviews.
It even has the actual author. It has Leopold Butterscotch.
Oh my God. This is an amazing book with some unbelievable imagery. I never fail to be amazed by some of the acts author Leopold Butterscotch vividly describes in his brilliant novel. Although I find it sometimes the imagery is a bit much, especially when it comes to the opening paragraph with a dog and the bloody pus-covered object. Stotts makes up for it with the plot about Amsterdam and ending with the Vags frog sending off Scrody's infected anus. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
I enjoy the way Stotts uses Sarah Jessica Parker 465 times in the book as a metaphor for the oppression felt by the lower class. These reviews are incredible. These people are normal reviewers taking this. This person's like the artist L.B. Stotch delights us with a complex social web of relationships and the clash of economic classes. Oh my. This book has better reviews than most normal authors. Leopold on Goodreads has 144 followers. That's more than people like the Pretty Little Liars author has. This is incredible.
Well, go ahead and check that out, ladies and gentlemen. As we mentioned, all the other parents start reading the book, and then they all want to confront the boys on who wrote it. So after they convince Butters to claim responsibility due to having several blackouts after reading Catcher in the Rye, he takes credit. Now, much to the boys' horror, though, the parents actually don't get angry at Butters. They praise him on his work, and they've even summoned an editor from Penguin Publishing who wants to get first publishing rights to the book. The book becomes a global sensation, and millions of copies are sold, having been translated into 26 different languages. However, despite the praise of the book, no one seems capable of actually getting through the first paragraph without vomiting. This even sparks a TV show or how long can you listen to Scrody McBoogerballs on audio and not vomit? Which, by the way, you can check out that clip on our TikTok as well. But we'll go to a couple clips here in the episode after Butters takes responsibility for writing the book.
Okay, well, actually, it was all written by Butters. That's right.
Butters?
That's right.
Yeah, I barely even remember it, but I know I did.
Well, Butters, we think that this is one of the best books we've ever read.
Huh? What?
Yeah, really amazing.
They're shocked. Matt, they're shocked.
They're shocked.
That we brought Mr. Needlebaum from Penguin Publishing to read it.
He's done throwing up. Mr. Butters.
And he's already got vomit on him.
Publishing rights to your brilliant novel.
Hey, wait a minute, that's ours. Yeah, we wrote that.
Okay, boys, you already told the truth.
No, we really did write it. Tell him, Butters.
I wrote that.
I wrote that.
Ooh. Oh my God. He's fucking him, Matt.
Well, he's tired of the
Good
bullshit.
for Butters, though. Like,
They
seriously.
fucking made him go on Maury Povich
He has a great explanation.
with some balls.
With little scroties on his McBooger balls. Yes.
Yes, it's fucking revenge. You're damn right I'm Scrody McBooger balls. You put the fucking balls on my chin. Chin ball boy.
I'm
ball
fully
chin boy.
behind Butters. Fully. Bow chin bear.
All right.
Yes.
Jumping now.
Yes, sir.
So now apparently much of the book's subject matter involves comments, though, directed at Sarah Jessica Parker, who is mentioned 465 times. This also...
Why wouldn't she be?
Yeah, you know. This also gets a slight annoyance from Parker's husband, Matthew Broderick, despite her being dubbed as a transvestite donkey witch.
You know, take the language as you will. South Park, it's set through characters not of our own.
Exactly. Meanwhile, due to the popularity of the tale of Scrody McBoogerballs, Butters and his parents are asked to be on Today's Show to discuss it. Despite being proud of their son's genius, Mr. and Mrs. Stotch have grounded Butters for the language used in the book.
Ugh, he can't catch a break. He might as well create his own.
Now, during the interview, Butters is asked a series of questions about the book, which he has fake answers to, as he's not even read the book. Matt Lauer and his co-host asked Butters whether or not he's afraid the book will cause a murder attempt like the one done with the man, like the one attempted to kill Ronald Reagan after reading The Catcher in the Rye. Butters then realizes that he was supposed to kill Reagan instead of John Lennon, begins to set out to murder him, but Al Roker says he's already dead, again, to Butters' disappointment.
Butter keeps getting cut off at the pass. Damn you, Al Roker and Matt Lauer.
Now,
Especially
of course,
Matt Lauer.
they ask Butters, what, is there anybody you want to meet famous? And Butters says he's hoping to meet Kim Kardashian, as I want to jump on her belly.
Such an innocent little way of saying something about Kim Kardashian. I mean, he talks about her in later episodes in like more direct ways about her like pilly bum or whatever the hell he says in like the Hobbit episode with Kanye West. But like, I want to jump on her belly. Butters, I think that might be the first and last time someone said that about Kardashian, but otherwise, you know what? I take that back. It's Kim. Maybe a lot of people have said that.
How long can you listen to Scrody McBoogerballs on audiobook
And not vomit!
Immediately, 2 seconds.
Including Sarah Jessica Parker, who is mentioned
465 times.
Matthew Broderick, are you upset your wife has made
What a
fun of
great
so much
number.
in the book?
Well, obviously, I just think it's wrong to make fun of anybody's physical appearance.
My wife is a beautiful woman.
and I know that most people agree with me.
And Matthew, how come a transvestite donkey witch is standing next to you, and why is it wearing a dress?
Yeah.
Joining us now is the author of the book,
Hard cut.
along with his parents.
So like I said, he's on the Matt Lauer show. We'll jump ahead here.
He's
and ask
got
Butters.
like the glasses. Yeah.
Like he's a dignified author now, right?
You met any
Yeah, he's got the square glasses. He's got like the sweater.
I'm hoping to meet Kim Kardashian. I want to jump on her belly.
My favorite part of your novel was when Scrody McBoogerball slid his head up into the horse.
What does that even mean? Matt Lauer's vomiting because he realized how much money he gave up with his stupidity. $25 million a year, Matt. This is what you did to yourself. This is what you did.
Fucking Matt Lauer.
Yeah, literally. Let's jump ahead and say that might be my favorite part of the episode is that when everyone pukes, they do the perfect post-puke spit up. It's the only thing I think about in this episode. It's the only thing I think about. Dude, I've caught myself being sick after a pretty horrible Friday night and literally catching myself do that and thinking about this episode in my stupor.
Dude, 3 weeks ago when I got White Claw drunk, the next day I was puking up bile all day, and all I could think of was this fucking episode.
One of the greatest Matt videos I've ever gotten, by the way, audience at home, one of the greatest, most fantastic Matt videos I've ever gotten was him White Claw drunk, being like, "Dane, you're the best. I love you, bro. We're gonna do so much together." And you're like in between it, you were doing that drunk man's. You were literally hicking. You were hicking, dude, on White Claw. I loved it. I haven't gotten White Claw wasted since like summer of pandemic. Oh, did you bring back memories? Oh, you guys should have seen it. Matt in his prime.
First and last time I ever get drunk off White Claw.
I know, man. Puking a bile the next day, and all you're thinking about was, oh my God, this was alcoholic seltzer. Oh, this is horrible.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I dehydrated? There was water in it.
It's water.
It's fucking false advertisement. I didn't know I need to drink more water with water. Fucking ridiculous.
A prime Matt moment.
No, but seriously, not only you, I haven't gone back. I didn't go back and look at all the videos, but I sent it up. I ended up sending like a video to like 5 or 6 different people, and all those videos were consumed. I just want to let you know.
You're the best.
Love you, dude.
Oh my God,
love
Matt,
you, bro.
Matt as a drunk is going to be great in Atlanta.
All right. Well, continuing on there, as you saw Matt Lauer throwing up. Now, fed up with Butters claiming creative credit for the book, the boys go to get the book banned with the school board. The board, however, dismisses their argument, saying that they are just too young to understand the meaning of the book and claiming that it actually is based on world events. The board then starts arguing about the content of the bookmarking. The boys leave in disgust after this. Pissed off, Cartman suggests that they just go and kill Sarah Jessica Parker or help get her killed, which would cause everyone else to assume that the book influenced the killer in the same way as Catcher in the Rye, thus causing the book to be banned. However, Kyle and Stan immediately reject this idea, but Kenny's on board. So together they dress her up. Go ahead.
I was about to say, of course, Sarah Jessica Parker is not Kenny's type. He's not into horses.
So together, they that being Kenny and Cartman, they dress her up as a moose in an attempt to try and get her shot by hunters, to which she seems to agree without any question. Sarah Jessica Parker's on board.
And it's fantastic because they already call her a horse beast. So all they do, Matt, is that they just put a couple antlers on her. No costuming, no nothing. Just a set of fake antlers, and they throw her out there.
The weird thing is she's the only other person with them. We're going to go to the court scene now. She's the only other person in court with them, like who's obviously upset about it too, because she's called out 465 times.
And she has no face through the whole episode. She does no expressions.
Botox,
and honestly,
yeah.
very accurate to the real woman.
But smut and vulgarity purely for the sake of smut and vulgarity.
That's just because you're too young to understand the underlying themes.
There are no underlying themes. We know that for a fact.
You just failed to understand what the author meant.
The author meant to be as gross as possible because it was funny.
No. That's such a simplistic view.
God damn it, there is no deeper meaning in this book. Read it again.
Oh, so you're suggesting that the author just arbitrarily made fun of Sarah Jessica Parker for no reason?
Yes.
Yes.
But what would be the point?
There is
No
That's how
point.
people dissect Tarantino films.
Jessica Parker is fucking ugly.
No,
Like he
writer
just
would
likes
do
feet.
that to make
No.
fun of
The
Sarah
feet
Jessica
are a
Parker
representation.
because they think she's ugly.
Yes, they would.
It is because Miss Jessica Parker is a metaphor in the book for oppression felt by the lower class.
What? Dude, that is not in the book at all.
Boys, this book is an important look at how liberals are hurting this country.
What?
And we...
Scrody McBoogaballs is the most conservative hating liberal in literature.
What book did you read?
There's nothing about liberals or conservatives.
This is how it is, Matt.
It is.
This
People
is
break
how
down
it is
shit
because
and-
when you have the book post, Yeah, the post-read discussion in class, everyone would have a different opinion, and you could tell who the snotty ones were because they'd bring out stuff like, "Did you read the same Holden Caulfield I did? He hates the lower what?"
All right, so now as we mentioned, the boys are going to go ahead and they're going to take Sarah Jessica Parker out into the woods to try and get her shot because, you know, they feel like if they try to get her shot, then maybe it'll get her banned or maybe it'll get the book banned, if you will.
Just same dress, just antlers.
Same dress, just antlers.
See any hunters yet? No. Doing good, Miss Jessica Parker. Just hang out right there.
She's just looking around, probably trying to find some oats, maybe whey.
So as you saw there, Sarah Jessica Parker out in the woods. So now, because of the success of Butters' book, The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs, they want him to write another book, which of course excites Stan, Cartman, Kyle, and Kenny because they're like, well, once he writes the fucking book, everybody's going to know that he's a fucking fraud. So
He's
Butters
full of crap. He can't write it like we did.
Right. So Butters writes a brand new book called The Poop That Took a Pee.
Which it just sounds like one of those sequels, those try-hard author sequels, where it's like, I'm going to try to recapture what I just did without understanding why people liked it. So let me just make it about poo and pee, because that's gross. But as we'll find out, Matt, maybe that plan even backfires on the boys too.
Right. So Butters informs the world that he intends to write that second book, The Poop That Took a Pee. On the Today Show, Morgan Freeman reads the first 5 chapters, during which, back in South Park, the boys believe that this will reveal to the world that Butters did not write the book. Much to their surprise, however, people's reaction to the book is that while it's not as vulgar due to Butters' writing in the manner of a small child, using words like poo and pee-pee, they feel that Butters has gone back to his roots, causing the book to be another success. However, because it is written by Butters, ironically, it inspires a man to kill the Kardashians, which Butters himself loves because the man refers to them as phonies, causing the public to become pissed off at Butters.
And look, phonies is not a random word. Phonies is literally what the killer of John Lennon, the one time I can't remember his name, what he called people like John Lennon. And that's what he pulled from To Catcher in the Rye. This concept, and he even didn't read it right. I mean, I know that Catcher in the Rye literally directly refers to phonies, but that's like reading American Psycho and being like, oh man, all these, whatever they call the rich 80s guys, like the Nepo baby types, back in like the New York City days. I can't remember what they called them, but they called them a singular word. And if you read American Psycho, you know it wouldn't be directly about that. It's about living inside of that mindset and being a part of it. But yeah, it was Mark David Chapman. Mark David Chapman, the killer of John Lennon, called him a phony and literally capitalized it. He was like, I'm getting rid of the phonies. John Lennon was only the start. He had a list of other names that he was going to go down. And he literally, just like these guys, took the wrong thing from Catching the Rye, because that's literally not what it's about.
Take it away, Morgan Freeman. The Poop That Took a Pee. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Douglas
had to poop.
His butt was all stinky because he had to poop so badly. There was a gross woman named Rebecca, who was sunbathing all naked, and she was fat.
And
Douglas
she was
walked
fat.
up to her and said, I
I
need
need to take a poop.
Okay.
Okay.
Rebecca replied, I like poop.
I like poop.
I
Douglas
like
squat
poop.
down,
Chapter.
poked the fat
He turns the
sunbathing
page.
lady,
Chapter 2.
and went poop. The poop sat there on Rebecca's boobs, looking like
They dedicated so much time to this.
The poop sat there
They dedicated
on Rebecca's boobs looking like a wiener.
They dedicated a full 60 seconds to a Morgan Freeman impersonation to read fucking chapters from this book. That was great.
And look, he wasn't puking in that 60 seconds. So is it as effective as the first book? They never really are.
Never really are. All right, so now we're going to jump ahead now. As we mentioned, because of the success of Butters' book, somebody kills the Kardashians, which is, of course, was not Butters' intention because he fucking loves the Kardashians, right? He loved Kim.
Yeah, and the real quick, the boys also, in between those, Matt, the boys find out that, they go to a bookstore and they find out that like this book is being well received. It's being well received again. So their plan is starting to backfire all over again.
Right, because they don't understand. They're like, what the fuck are these people reading? Yeah, what are these people reading? What are they making up in their imaginations that make this book mean something? You know what I mean?
He's gone back to his roots.
Yeah.
What? You can't be serious. You people like this?
Some of the imagery is unbelievable.
A woman pooping out her boobs is not good imagery.
Says you. You must be a pro-life nut, huh? Didn't like what the book is.
Pro-life
What are you talking about? This book is as pro-life as it gets.
Oh, come on. God damn it. Will you people stop reading into stuff that isn't there?
2 successful novels.
We live happily ever after. The end. Kill the phonies. Kill the phonies.
This guy even looks like Mark David Chapman.
My sisters and I are going to shop for underwear.
Watching Kardashians.
Go with you girls?
Oh! Oh my God!
Our nation is still reeling from the tragic deaths
Okay,
of the Kardashians.
I gotta set this up.
What is this, Tom Brokaw?
I gotta set this one up. This guy is so pissed that the Kardashians die. It's fucking hysterical.
The shooter claims he was driven to commit the slaughter immediately after reading The Poop That Took a Pee by Leopold Butters Stotch.
Bill B.
all over.
Stotch.
The Kardashians wiped out.
He's crying.
In
He's
the blink of
crying,
an eye.
Matt.
All because one little prick had to go and write a book.
This is great right here.
Leopold Stotch. I hope they bury you. You evil fuck.
Jesus! You can't say that on daytime. You evil fuck. All directed at Butters. But you can see right now Butters is devastated. He's on his desk. He's got his crayons and he won't even look up. He is devastated because he will not be able to jump on Kim's belly ever again until she shows up completely alive and well in the Kanye West episodes.
And technically, and I don't mean to be that guy, but I have to be here. I mean, they killed off the male Jenner version and Kendall comes back later, right?
Yeah, literally, Bruce is killed off,
Bruce
and then
dies.
Caitlyn comes back later as a horrible person. So maybe,
Back it up, Buckaroos!
you know what, Matt? You know what, Matt? That's a representation of the true separation of dead names and trans people. When you transition, I don't know why I sound like Trump right now. I'm trying to do your like nerd guy. When you transition, you are a completely different person, and this is what South Park is saying.
Look, basically what they're trying to stimulate here is the fact that they were showing the imagery that Bruce Jenner systematically died in this video, but later on is going to be stunning and brave when she becomes Caitlyn Jenner and she becomes the voice of a generation.
So progressive.
So progressive. So progressive. So strong. So beautiful.
It's a great character. We're taking that serious.
Let's do it. All right, so following this now, the episode is going to wrap up here. Because Butters, of course, is distraught, right? Because he killed his people, the woman he loved. The gang feels bad for Butters and the way that they're jealous of him, so they admit they were wrong to underestimate Butters. Stan also says that they should stick to television instead of books. Butters soon recovers and agrees to never write books again. And then Cartman goes, "All right, Butters, by your sleepwalking again, you're responsible for Sarah Jessica Parker being murdered in the woods." Although scared initially, Butters relaxes and says, "Oh, okay. Well, at least she was ugly."
No belly to jump on there.
You think I care about that?
Mm.
My writing got the most beautiful woman in the world killed.
That's a
I
bit of
love
it.
her. I know she's gone and it's because of me.
Jesus.
Butters, it'll be all
The
right.
boys seem
Listen, we've all
respected
learned that people
of
look for
this.
meaning in books.
Respectful.
Sometimes, even if it isn't there, they'll try and invent their own meaning.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why we all need to avoid books and stick to television.
Oh my God.
Spoilers. I'll get through never.
South Park on Comedy Central.
I think I can get over this. That's good, Butters, because we need to tell you something. What? You were sleepwalking again and dressed Sarah Jessica Parker up in a moose suit. You left her in the forest and she got shot by a hunter.
Yeah.
What? Oh no. Yep, sorry. You're gonna have to come down and admit it was you.
They did it again.
Her killed too? Oh well, at least she was ugly.
I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it.
At least she was ugly.
It's still poor gullible Butters. He still buys it.
She was ugly.
Yeah. I think I could do that. Yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come right back on the other side with some pop culture trivia and more. And we'll finish this recap on another edition of SMB, a South Park Review. We'll be right back. Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park Review on Spotify, Apples, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed, and you'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park Review.
Suck my balls.
Welcome back on the other side. Once again, shout out to our sponsors there, provided by Spreaker. Once again, if you download the Spreaker app and listen to our podcast that way, we get more revenue. So if you please choose to listen to our podcast, download the app and listen to that way. If you don't, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just trying to, get some more money. But that's okay. Just keep listening to the way you're listening to it. It's fine. If it's too, you might work. I totally agree. It's fine. Of course, if you're watching here right here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and you'll be notified when more content like this drops. Dane, I'm hoping to kind of get us caught up here with South Park because of the new special just dropping. So my plan is to either, I don't know if we recorded the season finale of last year. I want to say we did. Either we did and I never edited it, or we never got around to it. Either way, that's going to get reviewed, and then the Streaming Wars of the full parts 1 and parts 2, I'll do a retrospective of like the last one. That's going to get uploaded, and then eventually myself, Dane, hopefully Scoop, we're going to sit down, we're going to review the fucking new special that just came out, Panderverse.
Oh, I got to be there. Scoop's especially there too.
We're trying. We're getting there. We're getting caught up. But ladies and gentlemen, I am not the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. I am not the doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, souponomics, polyphonics. I am not a trivia god. I will do my best. This entire episode was directed at people's tendency to interpret their own themes in material that obviously never intended that, quote, hidden meaning. Strangely, it is Stan who exclaims in excitement at the risque themes, when Kenny is the one who has been shown with an obsession with the female body. While Kenny does not die in this episode, Cartman does declare him dead while they, along with Kyle, are playing Xbox 360.
I've never thought of that.
In a deleted scene, the boys, Butters and Ike, are sitting around a bed and saying dirty words, and Cartman puts them in a dirty sentence. At the same time, the school is holding a meeting for The Catcher in the Rye to be removed from the banned book list. This episode was released on DVD before South Park The Complete 14th Season was released. The episode was actually included on the 2010 DVD box set, A Little Box of Butters, which was released 7 months before the 14th season was released on DVD.
I had that box set. It was fantastic. It came with like little trinkets and stick. Oh, it was great.
And of course, we actually talked about this. Caitlyn Jenner, then known as Bruce, expresses interest in going shopping for women's underwear with the other Kardashians before being murdered. Jenner's gender transition was not publicly known at this time. However, it was arguably predicted.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, nothing about that was even in the public consciousness, Matt. So that's incredible that joke was in there.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is your trivia. Alrighty, now it's time to get into some pop culture. Ladies and gentlemen, Dane Becker.
All right, guys, reference pop culture in the tale of Scrody McBookerbutts. Yeah, the book that Mr. Garrison is assigning is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, of course. It has often been challenged due to its themes of sexuality, angst, rebellion, alienation, and teenage confusion. But in reality, the book was banned in schools as it mainly contained the idea of communism, quote unquote, rather than being banned due to its profane contents. And it did. It did have a lot of ideas of Marxist era communism. That's neither here nor there. I mean, look, they let Ayn Rand into stores. Why not the opposite, right? Anyway, the insane man who kills the Kardashians looks strikingly familiar to both Mark David Chapman, the assassin of John Lennon, of course, and John Hinckley Jr., who was the attempted assassin of Ronald Ronald Reagan. Both Lennon and Reagan are mentioned, obviously, in this episode. Al Roker's statement that The Catcher in the Rye caused someone to make an assassination attempt on former President Ronald Reagan is partially incorrect, although it has been claimed that John Hinckley Jr., who attempted to kill Reagan, obviously, could have been motivated by The Catcher in the Rye. It is more widely said that he instead supposedly motivated by Jodie Foster's performance in the 1976 film Taxi Driver. Also, for those who don't know, John Hinckley Jr. was one of Jodie Foster's stalkers at the time. And last but not least, Matt, if you didn't catch this, the Jonah Brothers were on a magazine cover in the bookstore that they were at while the boys were hearing people review the brand new butterscotch novel, The Poop That Took a Pee. And that's it for references of a culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and we'll wrap this up with one piece of continuity here. This is the second time where one of Cartman's friends, Kenny, has agreed with him on murdering someone in order to accomplish their goals. The first time was in Good Times with Weapons, when Kenny gets his shuriken stuck in Butter's eye, and Cartman suggests that they kill Butters, which Kyle, fearful of his mother, agrees with. That's your continuity, bitches.
Smooth operator.
That was a Pug Zoo original. Matthew Schaefer there on keys. Dane, tell me what you liked about this episode.
I love it when commentary does not just go after movie culture as it often does in South Park. I like it when it goes after culture and pop culture ingestion and digestion in general. So the hits against people that read far too much into books in terms of its politics, the people thinking that it was right wing, left wing, liberal, conservative, pro-life, pro-choice. You have those discussions, especially if you're in a creative writing class, as I'm sure both of us were. You have those discussions and you sit there and you feel like Matt and Trey back when they were probably in college. They tell these stories where you sit there and you're listening to people and you go, oh my God, dude, you are just such a cuck. You're just a guy that has a Pulp Fiction poster on his wall and thinks he knows everything. You guys are a bunch of douches. And I have that same experience a lot of the time when people are reading back through Lord of the Flies and stuff. Not even Lord of the Flies. The Giver is my number one favorite book of all time. Close second is obviously 11/22/63 by the greatest king, Stephen King, of course. But you go through that and you're like, oh my God, you guys don't get it. It's not about communism. It's just about idealism. And the creation of a quote unquote perfect world is still ruled by people that are imperfect. And the only thing we have to remember are our memories and how sacred those can be in a time where people want history erased. And that's kind of what people do when they read into books like this. They do a revisionist history to where what the book was actually trying to say for its time and day is not what it's trying to say now, because the time and day is different, but people change it to fit their own time, their own day, and their own mindset. And it usually goes very, very poorly. And that's why, again, I'm not saying that the media illiteracy is what drove Mark David Chapman to kill John Lennon. But if we had more media literacy, you would not see half the stupid crap you see even today on Twitter when people dissect a movie or dissect a film or dissect a short YouTube essay. We need media literacy as a number one elective in classrooms at the earliest age possible. I'm thinking middle school. Media literacy needs to be taught because there is a way, shape, and form to read, write, and review content. And there's a wrong way to do it as well. And a lot of times you find people doing it the wrong way. And this is what the episode commentates on. And that's why I kind of love it.
I know you make some great points there. I mean, one, I'm not here to stir up some stuff for the listeners, but one could make the argument that we make labels now to magnify our discontent when it comes to history, right? We'll use the term critical race theory. That term was not around when we were growing up. It was just history. You learned about
it was called history.
Yeah, it's just all history. But now we've put a label on it because people don't want to read about how bad America was in their past, along with all the other countries. Like, America's not the only person that did slavery. Every fucking race was enslaved pretty much. So for us to not have that knowledge and to not get that knowledge until you even now get older when you're a college student and you start seeking out that information by yourself, I think is a problem. And it does stunt your growth and development at a young age, rather than being understanding and accepting when you get out into the real world to understand that, dude, this is made up of 7 billion people. So they're not all white people who grew up in your fucking neighborhood.
Yes. Remembrance is the key to a better history in the future. It is. It's not a doomed to repeat it thing. Because look, history will go in a circle. Everything goes, trends all the way up to war will go in a circle. I think we're realizing that more and more now as we evolve as a quote unquote species. But like, yes, you need remembrance, but you need literacy to remember it correctly. Remember it for its time and what it was trying to actually say, rather than, like you just touched on, what people wanted to say now so that they can push their own, let's say, agenda, their own labeling system.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is I feel like you definitely, whether you're a parent or not, whether you have family or friends, don't shield yourself or others from the knowledge. Just take in the knowledge, whether you agree or disagree with it, at least take in the knowledge, because that way somewhere in the back of your mind, if that starts to happen again, you'll at least be able to recognize the patterns that as Dane is pointing out, that everything comes full circle. So that'll help you to identify it, at least make an informed decision, whether you agree or disagree with whatever it is, and then move forward in your life. Like, because most of the time, it's just not going to affect you. Like, realistically, like, I'm a white guy in America. The Israel-Palestine war doesn't affect me other than the fact that our tax dollars are being sent there. But as far as from like on a domestic sense, there's nothing for us to fear. We're in the most powerful country in the world. But I also still need to recognize that this shit's been going on for like thousands of years, dude. And
it has a giant history.
Fuck, it has a giant history. So like, if you're
massive history,
gonna shun yourself from that information, then you just end up looking ignorant in the conversation.
Absolutely. And look, I'm never going to touch the Palestine-Israel war with a 6,000 foot pole. I will never commentate on that. I understand where I come from, my own skin color, my own privilege, and everything that comes with it. That's why I will learn about things, just like critical race theory. I hate that word. Literally history or racist history. I will learn about it, but I'm not going to shove my opinion in it. I will never shove my opinion in it. I'm not going to be one of those people that puts a hashtag out. Absolutely not. All I can't say is, just like with everything else that we've just discussed, you have to learn the true history between the two to realize where each person stands and realize where you want to.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed this episode as well, Dane. It's definitely one of my top episodes of this season, as far as like I did the solo review, which is out right now. And I would say, while I missed you guys, Sexual Healing isn't one of those top episodes. And I kind of went over that. I kind of went over that fact. I was kind of like, it's kind of like a meh episode to start the season. I feel like this is like the real beginning of the comedy for the season and the story arcs that they start to build with the boys and Butters itself, because we're going to eventually see the 3-part episode of the Coon and Friends and all that. We'll see Butters, Professor Chaos. So I feel like them coming back with a good comedy episode about just the boys back in the day, kind of like triggering that nostalgia, as I mentioned, having fun with your friends, making up stories. And in this case, their story takes off. I like that Butters kind of gets his revenge here. Like, no, fellas, you're always, we didn't show the clip there because there's so much we could show, but Butters reiterating, no, fellas, you always take advantage of me. This time I'm taking advantage of you. I found out you're the phonies, right? So I like this episode from top to bottom. It's definitely it's definitely in my top 100, 150. It's a funny comedic episode itself. Ladies and gentlemen, though, that is going to do it for another edition of SMB, a South Park Review. You can go and check out linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. Linktree/SouthParkPod. All of our links are there. Next week, we're coming back for medicinal fried chicken. What happens when medical marijuana gets fucking legalized, but KFC is illegalized? What happens?
He's all choked.
Yeah, kid. What happens when Cartman finds out that he gets to meet King? I love you, Chicken. I love you. Come back next week, Dane, for another edition for SMB, a South Park Review. Coming back next week, Cal.